Welcome back to another The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and this time I guess I got fighting music in the background as I somehow spawned these spiders off in the distance. But yeah, it's time to go over Krieg, which should be pretty fun, because everything about Krieg is fun. Even if you don't play Krieg a lot, you gotta admit he's fun. So, let's just start off with the legendary Psycho, and speaking of fun, look how awesome his class mods look. They're by far the coolest looking class mods. If only they would have made that barbed wire not just painted on. Make that actual texture, that would have been really sweet. But, yeah. Legendary Psycho class mod. So Krieg here has 3 passive buffs. Burn damage, magazine size, and shield recharge delay plus 1.5 to make his shields recharge slower, which goes with a lot of his skills of keeping the shields down, kind of the self-sacrifice, self-pain of Krieg, which that's cool. The magazine size is beautiful. Typically, burn damage would be lame, but Krieg's got a lot of skills to actually make fire dots good, so that's not that bad. So, let's go to his skill tree. So, he's got the full 9 buffs, too. As you see, there's 6 skills, 3... 3 passives. And he's pretty common across the top here, so it's pretty straightforward. Blood-filled guns is really awesome because at 100 stacks, that's a shitload of freaking magazine size, combined with his comm. Let's just go 10 here. So that's 500% magazine size plus the 37 from his comm. So 537, which at that point, who cares about the boost from his comm? But that's why Krieg makes guns just fire for days. Blood Twitch, just ridiculous swap speed. This one's a waste going full 10 in my opinion, but moving on. Empty the Rage, more melee damage, which is of course cool for Krieg. Feed the Meat. Massive shield recharge delay on top of the comm. So let's just go full 10 there. An extra 5 seconds. So now you have 6.5 seconds added to your shield recharge delay. And 100% more max health. And Krieg loves to health stack. Here, burn damage increase. So we've got more dot damage. And this is pretty good. Then I guess I'll stick here. Just put the 5 there. 70% plus the, what was it from the comm? 37%, so you're doubling your dot damage at this point. And then your additional on fire bonus is quite large. And then, you know, good chance to self-ignite. Fuel the fire, elemental effect chance. You get it so high that you pretty much dot every shot with almost any gun. And more self-ignite chance, so that is all good. So overall, I mean, it's hitting the top 6 skills, so I can't nitpick about any of them being left out, but it's pretty solid. I think people are a little less excited about this Krieg's, because Krieg is so specialized. A lot of times, you're either going Hellborn or Mania with a side of Bloodlust. There are a lot of people that do a Hellborn Mania kind of mixture, and that can work, but like Blood Explosion and Bloodbath are so damn powerful. So this one isn't, it's just not specialized like a lot of his other comms, so I think it gets a little underused, but that kind of makes sense. But nothing against the comm, it's solid. It's just I think Krieg's got better options. So let's go on to the Slayer of Terra. So like his other one, the actual burn damage and ignite chance isn't too bad for Krieg. It sucks that the max health can't be increased by health bonuses, but Krieg does like to health stack. And this one,
This hurts my brain.
I love it. This is gonna be fun just because of those. So this one hits Blood Trance, which isn't the greatest. Thrill of Kill, I like it. It definitely gives him a different way to heal. It's not the most reliable healing, but it's something for overkill damage, which not many characters have. And Krieg gets a ton of overkill damage with things like Blood Explosion and Bloodbath, so it can be very cool if you're not doing a melee. If you're doing a melee build, you don't really care because you're getting healed every time you kill someone, essentially. But if you're not going all the way down here, you're maybe just going down to Assault to Wound or partially in this tree, this is a good skill to have, and if it's boosted, it's quite nice. Strip the Flesh, if you like explosive builds, this is great, but he does have an explosive comm. And then Flame Flare, which can kill you, but I think it's been fixed. This was kind of bugged for a while, where you could get multiple dots in yourself and you just kill yourself. I've been told it was patched. I'm not 100% sure on that, so I just want to put that out there. I'm not positive on this, but it's not the best skill to boost. Theoretically, it should be awesome because you can stay on fire for a hell of a lot longer. But if that staying on fire causes you to gain dots that stack on top of each other and your health regen can't match it and you just die, that's not good. Also, look how tiny the Twister is on his back. I don't know why, but that fucking cracks me up. Like, the Twister's a large gun, and when you have it on Gage, it's like the size of her. And on him, it just looks like this like little weird thing on his back, because Krieg is just massive. I also love his Western skin and mask here. So, his Slayer comm is better than most, actually. But I think most people are going to go towards other comms anyways. So, next, just let's go on top. Let's start with a torch, his Hellborn one. So this one, you gain increased burn damage, 60%, which is a pretty big number, which, once again, dots are important, and I like the little bacon flag in the meat there. That's pretty sweet. Pretty awesome design. But onto the skills. So in the Hellborn tree, you've got 4, and then over here you've got 1. And this 1 is awesome because your shield's going to be down because you're going to be on fire. You're probably nowhere on the flame of the Firehawk. And now you have an additional 70% fire rate. That's massive. And your shield recharge delay is another 10 seconds. So now you have 12.5 seconds with those two. That's freaking awesome, and like I said, 70% fire rate is huge. What people often forget is Krieg's got a lot of, I guess what I call indirect DPS. When a lot of people are thinking DPS, they're just thinking of like damage and fire rate, but Krieg's got a lot of reload and magazine size that really help take advantage of that massive fire rate, you know, as we already covered over here. So that 70% fire rate's ridiculous. Next, we already kind of covered these two. They're all nice and dandy. Elemental Elation. I thought I had enough points to go down there. So this is a sweet skill because more fire rate, more magazine size, and you get up to 20 stacks here. This is some serious boosts. 200% magazine size on top of his other magazine size buffs, and that fire rate there on top of this fire rate. You're just going to melt shit, plain and simple. Your big problem is going to be ammo with all that fire rate and mag size. And then Flame Flare, like I said. So this one, you know, just pop 1 point in. Kind of wish it did Elemental Empathy instead. That would have been really cool. Because then you could have really self-healed without Moxie guns, and it would have really opened Krieg up. And you can already kind of do it decently with him. But you could have really done it with this. So this is my one kind of complaint here. I think it would have been better if they moved Flame Flare to something else. If they really wanted to make this combo OP, they would have taken off Flame Flare and done Bloodbath. But like I said, that could have made it OP. But even like adding it to Pain as Power would have been cool. Elemental Empathy would have been cool. Even Numb Nerves would have been cool. They could have moved 1 or 2 of these around. So it's pretty solid comm. I like it a lot because of the massive fire rate. I love doing Hellborn Krieg with like kittens. I mean, this comm just loves that setup. You can just melt shit with those. You said with all that fire rate. And you get a decent amount of damage too with Pain as Power. You're not critting a lot with the kitten anyways with this weird fire rate. So yeah, you can do some cool things with that. As well as the Butcher. So I definitely dig that comm. I know a lot of Krieg players aren't the biggest fan of it because there is this thing called the Legendary Reaper. Before before I move on, I forgot to compare the torch to the purple torch. The purple torch is nowhere as cool because, let me just equip that. You don't get Embrace the Pain, so you keep these two in Flame Flare. So you lose, you gained with the Legendary comm Elemental Elation and Embrace the Pain, which is where your DPS is coming from with this comm. So the purple one's kind of lame. The Legendary one has a huge increase adding those two skills. So as an upgrade, it's really sweet. But Reaper, I know a lot of Hellborn people that just go Reaper instead. I guess to look at the Reaper, this is one of the coolest team skills, I think, in my opinion. Basically, you're doubling kill skill. Now, kill skills last for 7 seconds. A 99% increase will bring them to about 14 seconds. 14 seconds is a really long time in a game like this. And, I mean, Krieg's got a bunch of cool kill skills, but as a team buff, you know, I mean, Axton players love their kill skills. Their whole builds are so many are based around the momentum of keeping his kill skills up and getting to that next kill. For someone like Zero, having follow through for 14 seconds and Grim for 14 seconds for survival, that's massive. Maya having things like Life Tap, Inertia, those are insanely huge. Kinetic Reflection. So, you know, Maya can get crazy survival with those kill skills, and having that survival up for 14 seconds is great. But also in co-op, a lot of times you're fighting for kills, and if you have one guy really going nuts to get in all the kills, you're not getting your kill skills, and then you're weaker, or you're less, you know, you have less DPS or less survival. So this awesome boost, I just want to really cover that because I freaking love it. So the actual comm here, well, you have 3 skills here, and the big one here is Bloodbath. Bloodbath is massive because it's 5% more weapon damage per stack, and you know, here up to 100 stacks, that's 500% more weapon damage after a kill. And when you do that too, enemies drop grenades like crazy, so getting grenades isn't crazy. The only trick is you got to kill an enemy with a grenade or an explosion, but splash damage usually counts as that. But also Blood Explosion counts as that, so it's not that hard to proc Bloodbath. And when Bloodbath goes off, Krieg is just an absolute monster because he's got all these fire rate buffs we've already covered. That's why a lot of Hellborn players like this comm better, is because of Bloodbath, just making their guns just ridiculous. Outside of that, it's not as good, because it's kind of in this weird hybrid place. Taste the Blood is great for a melee build, but if you're not doing a melee build, it's not that great. And with Bloodbath, a lot of people like to focus this on gun builds, not melee builds, because there's better melee comms. And then Blood Overdrive is, again, kind of a melee hybrid thing. So you kind of waste these a little bit. You can do a melee hybrid build and really focus on them, but a lot of people are just in it for the Bloodbath. And then you have Thrill to Kill, which is very cool. Obviously, overkill damage, and when you have 500% more base damage, you have a lot of Thrill to Kill, a lot of overkill health there. And this, again, boosted, that's a good amount of health you're getting back. And then when Blood Explosion goes off, you get a lot of health back. Fuel the Fire doesn't really make that much sense here. So while this comm is awesome, it's awesome because of the passive boost, Bloodbath, and a little bit Thrill to Kill. But it's actually got, you know, 3 of the skills on it just aren't that amazing in my opinion. Now, once again, I mainly play Maya. I have done a fair amount of Krieg play, and while this comm is ridiculously powerful, I think there's a lot of wasted points on it. It's basically just a bloodbath comm and a kill skill comm. So that is my opinion of this one. And like I said, I might not be 100% on there, but that's kind of where I am on it, at least. It's not to say it's not amazing, it's just it should have been a little bit better. Or just have a smarter direction on it. Let Krieg talk. Alright, so to compare that Reaper to the Reaper it came from, Blood Twitch, Feel the Fire, and Blood Overdrive. So Bloodbath and Taste the Blood are new to that. So, and it changed around some. Alright, so this one had Blood Twitch, Blood Overdrive, and Fuel the Fire. So they dropped this, added this, so Bloodbath, Taste the Blood, and Thrill the Kill were all added to it. And this one, Blood Twitch, was removed. So they did make it a lot better, because this isn't very good as a purple comm here. It's not really boosting that much. I mean, swap speed, you don't need 10 out of 5 in swap speed there. Yeah, they did a really good job of upgrading that because 2 of those skills they added. Now the Sickle. I'm going to do this in the right order this time. So, the Sickle, which is your melee comm, boosts melee damage, obviously is passive, and that's a decent amount. Empty the Rage is on both, Silence the Voice is on both, and Fuel the Blood is on both. You gained Taste the Blood and Pain is Power on this one, so let's take a look at those. So Taste the Blood, I think on a melee build, like I said before, this is brilliant, because if you don't get a kill while you are in Release the Beast, you are fucked. You don't have any other way to heal, so you need to have damage reduction. And this gives you a lot of it. Fuel the Blood is great because with Buzzsack's Bombardier, that's a grenade damage, this is melee, you throw it. Yeah, you get both of those, so that works out nicely. Empty the Rage, and that's pretty obvious. The melee damage is huge. The Shield and Mag bonus is kind of weird. Because you're probably not going to want a shield. You're probably just wearing the Rough Rider. Or, yeah, just the Rough Rider. Or a Roid Shield, I guess. But, Mag bonus is nice, and it's big. I mean, that's a huge Mag bonus. And then, of course, Silence the Voices is ridiculous. Why did I say Blood Overdrive, I thought? Yeah. I mean, this is 500% more melee damage. And yes, there's that 12% chance. Yes, it is actually 12%. Learn what RNG means. But yeah, Silence the Voices, that's just so much damage. So you got 500 there, another 40% there. You get your bonus 500% there, so that's 1,040%. Another 100% there. And I'm not sure on Krieg's formula. These aren't all just additive. Some of them multiply each other, I believe. But this is a ridiculous amount of melee damage. And then lastly, you have Fuel the Rampage, which I know a lot of people skip because they don't want to light themselves on fire while they are doing melee, because it can just burn you down faster. So some people go over here, some people do not. It does increase your melee damage more, and it can a decent amount. But yeah, you don't necessarily need that. And like I said, setting yourself on fire while you're on melee without a shield, relying on kills to get back up, can be a little dicey. So that's optional. But even if you miss that one, it's not a big deal because this comm is ridiculous with all the melee damage you're getting. The damage reduction here. This helps for throwing the axes. And yeah, because then throwing the axes are grenades, and then you can just switch off between throw, melee, and it's a decent amount of work to balance them. Spunky does it incredibly well. If you watch him, some people just go with Krieg and just start swinging his axe, but if you watch Spunky play, he's actually paying attention to how he's killing enemies to make sure he's both keeping his bloodlust stacks up, but he's balancing out his damage bonuses through things like this, because that's a lot of extra grenade damage. And then let's see, what's the rest of the melee? Well, I'm out of points to do the rest. But it's all about that kind of fine balance there. So, yeah. That is Krieg's comms. I think that's the last of them. Reaper, Slayer, Torch. Yep. That is all of them. So, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. And once again, let me know in the comments where I am right, where I'm wrong, what you think. And I will see you guys later. But first, I am going to taste the blood.
Shut up!
Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.